No one ever grows up and says, when they're a little kid and says, hey, I want to be an insurance agent, right? But it's a very lucrative career, man. It's really changed my life. It's a lot of hard work doing that type of work. And then when you transition to something over here, shout out Nate Berrigan and the Berrigan family. He told me, he said, when you get in this industry and you start making money, man, it'll kind of mess you up on how you look at money, because a lot of people, they have to put a lot of time in to make a certain amount of money that we can make in an hour, right? Like today I was at the gym and a client called me and said, hey, we want to increase the policy, almost $800. And now just trying to plant my flag.
You're doing it, man. How old were you whenever you got licensed?
So I was right before my 23rd birthday. So I was 22. Well, it took me a little bit to get licensed. I've never really been a book smarts type of guy. You know, I mean, in high school, we graduated here from Chowchilla High, right? I never really was a good test taker. So I really wanted to take the information in.
Yeah.
And it was even before I talked to you. Insurance was booming back then. You know, a lot of my buddies were in it. And one of my buddies just said, hey, here's the course. Go ahead and check it out. And I did the course, passed the test, and I was like, I'm either going to work with him or I'm going to work with Adam. And I was like, there's no way that I can go work with this cat when, just like I said, the history that we've had, you know, from all the years. And obviously I know how successful you've been, not only in the insurance industry, but in all your other ventures too. So I just, you know, I hit
Appreciate
you up.
that.
It is what it is, man. You know, it's true. It's no fluff.
Well, so, and that's something that me and Nate talked about a little bit too. And a lot of the guys, you know, it comes up a lot. We've had so many just dominant, I mean, I'm talking dominant killers from our little town in Chowchilla, right?
5 stoplights.
Yeah, is it 5? I always say 4. I don't know, it's small, right? I think a big part of that is there's no question, right? JR lives in the same town we do. You know, myself, the other successful managers, Nate, Jesse, yourself, right?
100%, yeah.
And being able to learn from each other, right? To really speed up that learning curve, I think is
100%.
huge.
Well, you know, like I always say, you rub elbows with winners, you're going to be a winner, you know, and there is no question, because when you're from such a small, intimate area like Chowchilla is, you know, you see that firsthand. You know, you see Ray driving around. I remember back in the day, he had that big Kubota with his dogs hanging out and just doing it. And then you got in it and started killing it. When I got into it, it was like, okay, I know it's real. The system's in front of me. And if it doesn't work out, there's no one else to blame but myself, you know. And I think that's one of the biggest things, like when new people come on, is they have that question, like, is this real, or is he trying to hustle me into, you know, sell me the dream? And I feel like in Chowchilla, because it's so small, there never is that, right? I remember when I first started, we went to Farnesi's over here, and you said, hey, just treat them like your parents. You know, our moms have been training us for this job our whole life. They've always told us no.
Always telling us no.
And it clicked. I was like, man, that is true. I mean, the first answer usually was no. Hey, can I go and spend the night? Can I have someone come over? Can I get this? It was always no. We had to push for it. So, yeah, man, I appreciate everything, brother. You helped me change my life for sure.
So I remember whenever, I think it was Nate called me, and he's like, hey, like, we're going to, you know, let's go meet with Dylan. We met over here at the golf course. And I sat down and had lunch. And, you know, again, you being Chad's younger brother, like my expectations, again, anytime I've hired a lot of people, especially, it's almost harder when you know them, right?
100%,
a lot of people, you know, I think they put extra pressure on themselves, right? If they don't make it or it doesn't work out, they're like, I'm going to be upset. And again, I've been doing this long enough to know it's like, hey, if this isn't a good fit, it's not going to hurt my feelings.
It's not for everybody, right?
Yeah, it's not going to hurt my feelings at all. But like when we met with you, you had a notepad with a ton of questions, right? We walked in there, and again, I just assumed it's gonna be like, hey, anybody else I meet with. And literally when me and Nate left, I was like, wow, like, to be honest, I was kind of blown away a little bit. I was like, I've been interviewing people for a long time at that point. I've met with, you know, thousands of agents and or prospective agents over the years. And, you know, even at a young age, for you to come in and be prepared, you know, most 56-year-old people that I've met with, right, that had a lot more business experience and different stuff, didn't come that prepared. You know, they didn't do any research.